As Christians, we often hear and we speak about God's love. But the truth is, the idea that God loves us, sometimes, we fail to see the existential reality of it in our own lives. Especially, say, for example, if we have experienced betrayal, bitterness, brokenness in our lives, or we have experienced the pain of our loved ones. Say, for example, if there's an absence of fatherhood in your home. We find homes where the fathers are absent or they are abusive. They are sometimes socially and emotionally disconnected. They are busy with their lives. There may be domestic violence in your homes or fathers that have walked away. All these experiences, they diminish and they deprive us of the true essence of receiving the love of God. 1 John 4 verse 8 tells us God is love. Love is not something that God does. Love is who God is. And I love how the Catechism puts it. The CCC 1 tells us that God, who is infinitely perfect, who is infinitely blessed, He invites man to share in His blessed life. Hence He creates man, and that every given place and at every given time, God invites man to know Him and to love Him and to seek Him with all his heart. That is why God puts beauty around us. Think about the magnificence of creation. Anything of beauty that captures our hearts is an outcome of the love of God. And yet, my dear friends, the psalmist, the poet, David understood it so profoundly. He says in Psalms 8, when I look at the night sky and I see the work of your hands, the sun and the moon you've put in place, what is mortal that you are mindful of us, Lord? Mere humans that we are, and yet you care for us. Yet you care for us. David understood, my dear friends, that God could exchange the glory of this creation in a second for the love of man. St. Augustine says, God is more intimate to me than I am to myself. God is love. God personifies love. Love permeates everything that God is and everything that God does. You see, God's love is spontaneous, it is sacrificial, it is self-existing, it is selfless in its nature. In Greek, we call that word agape. It means it transcends human relationships, the relationship of a mother and a child, the relationship between spouses in a marriage, the relationship between siblings and friendships. It transcends human relationships. It says in the psalmist, it says in 136, the steadfast love of the Lord endures forever. My dear friends, in a world of fleeting love stories and broken hearts, God invites us to a rock-solid relationship with Him, giving us a love that will not change, but is steadfast. Think about for a moment what steadfast means. It is unchanging, unrelenting, uncompromising. Steadfast means it is rock-solid, firm, true. Steadfast means it is not going to change with seasons or circumstances or time. Steadfast means God will always hear, always come, always care, always comfort. God is loyal, God is faithful. God will always be there for us. That is why it is said that God's love for us is everlasting. From season to season, time to time, He will never change. This, my dear friends, is the agape love of God.